What's good, y'all? Elvis here, back again with another episode of Better Barbering. For my new people, Better Barbers is a series that I started where I share tips and tricks that made me a better barber that other people can use to make them better barbers and ideally better people. Real quick, I'm recording this on September 19th, 2022, which is my 25th birthday. And in honor of my 25th birthday, I'm doing a sale on craftoverclout.com. I got my Craft Over Clout t-shirts, $25. I got my Craft Chaser hats, $25 for the rest of September or until supplies last. If y'all rock with the content, you want to rock some merch, go ahead and check out craftoverclout.com. Appreciate y'all. But today I'm going to be talking about pricing your haircuts. So I personally love cutting hair. And I know I love it because I would do it for free if my time did not cost anything. But I got a love for cutting hair, and right now it's in my best interest to charge money for my services. And starting off, a big problem people have is they don't know how to price their haircuts. And not even just at the beginning, just throughout their career. There's a lot of people who've kept their price constant for way too long, in my opinion. But money isn't real and value is subjective. So whatever people are paying you for your haircut, it's enough if you're accepting it, to be honest. First things first, we already know money is not real, it's just a tool. It's a means of getting stuff. And value is subjective. So price does not necessarily equal quality. There's no such thing as a $100 haircut. There's somebody who does a haircut service and charges $100 for their time. The difference between a $25 haircut and a $100 or $200 haircut is not the actual haircut. There's a lot of people that charge $25 that cut a lot better than people I know that charge triple digits. Ultimately, your time costs as much as you're willing to accept for it. But the main difference between the cuts that I used to do for like $20 versus the ones I do for $50 now is not really quality. Because honestly, most clients don't have that deep of a perception of quality. They can tell what a good haircut is, but most of them cannot distinguish between a good haircut and a great haircut. The main reason I can charge more than double my old haircut price is simply supply and demand. The supply of my time to do haircuts is a lot smaller than it used to be. And the demand for my services is a lot higher than it used to be. So therefore I can charge more. But this only applies if you've gotten on the higher end of your ability. Like I'm at a point now where clients can't tell the difference between me going 80% versus 100% on a haircut. Never half-ass on any haircuts. But not every haircut is gonna be 100% the best work you could have possibly did. But what I would consider about like 65% of my best ability or my best work, most of my clients would be fine with that. But that's because I've streamlined my haircutting process so where like my product is good always. So now I'm not really selling the product of the haircut. I'm selling the experience around the haircut my clients are getting. And some people will do this with like a bunch of spa services and facials and blah. But I personally don't care for doing all that. So I just charge a flat rate, all included haircut price. Whatever you want me to do in that time, I got you. But of course, very few people are in my specific position. But when you're starting off as a barber and you're pricing your haircuts, I would suggest following the market. For people in your area around your level of quality / professionalism and all that, what do they charge? When I first started, everybody in my tier of quality was charging like less than $10. So I was charging less than $10. But over time, as you build up your ability and your clientele and your other skills that would make you a more well-rounded barber, the demand for your services grows. And at some point, you'll be at a point where you can charge a higher price. People love asking me when is a good time to go up on your haircut price. And a lot of barbers will not agree with the advice I'm about to give. So take it with a grain of salt. But honestly, if you are in charge of your own time, if you're cutting more than you'd like to at any given moment, you can raise your price. Now, finding people to pay that price is usually the issue people run into. Let's say I have a pretty decent clientele at, let's say, $15. Every time you go up in your price, you're going to lose a good portion of your clients. I would always say plan on losing at least half, even over like, let's say a $5 increase. When I was on campus and I took my prices from $12 to $15, I lost over half my clientele for sure, immediately. But as a barber, you gotta understand, you do not own your clientele. You cannot be afraid to lose them. If you're afraid to lose them, you are afraid of growth. Not every client's gonna be with you for the long run. Maybe like 2-3 years ago, I was cutting for around like $15 to $20. And I was booked up consistently for like 2-3 weeks, year round. Personally, I felt like I was doing a little something. You know, I was feeling good. Like I consistently had clients. I consistently had someone to cut. There's always money rolling in. But the thing about being booked up that far in advance is that you have a lot less spontaneity in your life and you have less time available in your schedule generally. So as long as the money is worth being limited in that way, you're in a good position. But honestly, I think it's time to go up in your price if you're feeling overworked. Or it might be time to take a vacation. Probably both. But when you do go up in your price and you lose, let's say, possibly half your clientele, the half that stays are going to be paying you more. And they are going to attract more clients that pay the same price and have the same expectation of quality. I think going up in price is one of the best things for your career. Of course, it sucks because you won't cut some of the cool people that used to cut. My general rule of thumb for barbers is if you're booked up like a week and a half to 2 weeks consistently all the time, you probably should be going up in your price. But it all really depends on the lifestyle that you're trying to live. Like your business should reflect the lifestyle that you have in mind. For me, when I was booked up 2-3 weeks in advance, that just worked for me because I was comfortable with my price point and I was comfortable with the clientele I had and I was comfortable with my work-life balance. Now I'm in a place where I don't want to cut as much hair, but I want to make more money. And there's a bunch of other things I want to do with my time. The work-life balance that works for me is scaling the time I cut hair back. So because I'm scaling the time I cut hair back, my supply, the supply of the time I have available for it is a lot lower. But because I'm consistently working on and building my business, my demand stays high. And because the individual people are paying me more, I don't have to cut as much hair or interact with as many people. Actually, I'd say that's one of the biggest pluses of going up in your price. It's not that I was interacting with a bunch of people I didn't like, because I've had a clientele that I thoroughly appreciate and I rock with for like at least 3-4 years. But even though I liked everybody that was on my schedule, back when I was cutting like 15 people a day, that's a lot of interaction with people. And I don't have the battery for that. So I'd come home and I'm dog shit tired. I'm pretty in shape. So like actually cutting hair doesn't really affect my body at all anymore. But all that human interaction was really, really draining me. So I had even more of an incentive to switch to a schedule that allowed me to cut less, interact with less people, but make more money. So we talked about like just general pricing in the shop for regular services, but we got to talk about special pricing. Depending on how booked your schedule is, you probably should be charging more money for after hours appointments if you're doing appointments. Working basically any other job, if somebody asks you to work an hour or two after you were supposed to leave, that's not for the same price. And it especially shouldn't be for the same price if it's your time. You dictate the value of your own time in this business. Now, if you want to just stay late for people, that's fine. I do that sometimes. But I only do that if it's personally a client that I like and or is not that inconvenient to what I actually have going on that day. But now if a client wants a cut, let's say 2 hours after I leave, that's a completely different price than my regular price. My price for after hours appointments is double. So like right now, my base rate for regular haircuts is 50. So if somebody wants an after hours appointment, that is 100. And my house call price is 250, but I don't get that many house calls. The price is a deterrent because I don't want to do house calls. It makes it worth my energy. But my after hours appointments are $100. That means any time outside of my bookable schedule is $100. And let me tell you, people do not like that shit. Some people usually charge maybe like an extra 20 or something on top. That's up to you, that's fine. But the reason I charge double is so people respect the time in my schedule better. I do have some clients that pay after hour prices, but the after hour price is really a deterrent from people that don't want the haircut that bad. And when I say don't want the haircut that bad, I mean, of course they want the haircut and I appreciate anybody that wants my service and wants to give me money for it. All right, so my schedule is chill as hell right now. Nowhere close to as booked up as it used to be, but it fits my work-life balance so fantastic. Earlier in the week, my schedule kind of light, and then it starts to book up towards the end of the week. So if I have a client who knows they need a cut this week and literally waits until the end of the week to book, and then like say Friday or Saturday, like, hey man, I really need this haircut, blah, 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 blah. Like, sure, they need a haircut. That doesn't necessarily mean they need my haircut. There's easily hundreds of thousands of other skilled barbers that can do what you need done. But if you specifically want last minute access to my time, that comes with a fee, because I set up my life a very specific way and I don't like inconvenience. So you're gonna have to pay me for that inconvenience. Ultimately, pricing is up to you, but the value that your clients are looking for is up to them. So as long as you're prioritizing clients that have like an equivalent sense of value of your service or your time or whatever, then you're good. But as you progress in your career, the value of your time, well, relative to you, is going to increase. So if your clients do not value it in the same way, they're not going to be your clients for that long. And then you just got to understand that's part of the game. But keep in mind, value is subjective, and all of this is dependent on perception. There's a lot of people that only pay me $50 because they see a bunch of other people that pay me $50. They don't know what a $50 haircut looks or feels like. They just value my service more than the $50. And the social proof from other people is what makes them pay my price. But a lot of those same clients, I could put onto a barber who cuts for like half my price, and debatably just as good, if not better. But they might not rock with their service as much because it costs less. Or maybe they just don't even care about the haircut, but they just like the experience that I give them when they're in my chair. It's very, very personal. I've had clients that pay me double my regular price just because they like me like that. So don't trip when you come across people that don't value your time and energy the way that you value it, because there's people out there that value it way more than you do. It's all perspective. All right, that's all I got for today. If y'all got any advice or gems about raising your price, go ahead and comment those down below. Just share the knowledge. But I appreciate y'all watching. If you got any value or anything, go ahead and like, subscribe. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram. Follow me at Cuts by Elvis, as well as at Better Barbering on TikTok as well. Same names. But again, don't forget I got merch on sale at craftoverclout.com. Appreciate y'all again. Till next time, Craft Over Clout. I'm out.